Hey there, collectors, it's Steven here with another figure review, and this time it's the SH Figuarts Team Rocket set. A general release, surprisingly, this set comes with Jesse, James, and Meowth. Bandai has a mixed track record with sets, and we have a lot to cover here. So pretend I made a clever comment about trouble and making a double, and let's take a look to see whether or not this set is worth adding into your collection. Alright, here's how the review will go. We'll look at Jesse, James, and Meowth individually in each section for the most part throughout the review until the accessory section, because I think that'll be the easiest way to go, okay? Okay, so Jesse, rather simple paint application throughout with subtle sculpt detailing in some spots, which really makes the figure here. However, there are a few things riding on the tail of the Super Saiyan 3 Goku renewal that I think we really got to talk about. Anyway, her face looks great with fine attention on the decals. Unfortunately, her neutral face is looking off to the side, which sucks, but hey, Bandai and their gimmicks, right? Right. Earrings look evenly painted, which is a plus. The hair. Nice sculpt, great blending for the paint, but the issue here is there's this big, ugly seam right near the middle. Why is that there? They just mold the parts separately and glue it together? Now, if they did that, why didn't they articulate it? Sure, it's mostly straight in the anime, but if you're going to sacrifice something like that, why not go the full mile? Anyway, the rest of the figure features relatively clean paint apps. It's just that the paint didn't perfectly match up with the sculpt marks, which I don't think anyone at Bandai can color in the lines, so it's a good thing here that it's not terrible. But the impressive thing, she actually has a belly button. Yeah, I know it's hard to see, but it is there. And there is her skirt too, made of bendable plastic. It does have some nice detailing. All in all, the issues that she does have, they're minimal. Jesse looks great. Now James, and he's like Jesse, but generally better. Though I'm already seeing one issue that's not present now, but might be there in the future. James's default face, Bandai, stop having these guys look off to the side. It's not cute in the slightest, even though the gimmick here is that they can stand side by side and look at an angle. Yeah, no. Stop it. Anyway, looks good, maybe too bright of green on the eyes, and his hair features a fantastic subtle gradient of purple to it. Very cool here. The R on his chest is really nice, and it's the last thing to really make note of here in the grand scheme of things. Unfortunately, tiny bit sloppy, not too much, it's just not perfect, again, in the lines thing. And then we have the shading on the arms and the boots like Jesse. Little too much spray here and there, but still, it's overall very nice. Now, the thing that I want to make mention, he is all white, or an off-white, almost it's kind of gray. Anyway, the point is, make sure your hands are clean when you're handling him. His color's probably going to change and fade over time and not for the better, so keep your hands and the area he is in as clean as it possibly can be. So this way, the color doesn't fade even faster than it normally would. Now, some of you are going to say no duh on that one, but some people probably wouldn't have thought of that. And last up, here's Meowth. Now, Meowth's bigger than Pikachu from the SH Figuarts Ash release, and he's featured a bit more in this Team Rocket set since, it's Team Rocket, and he's bigger. Has better paint apps where they do exist than Pikachu, like on the coin on his head, and the eye decals, they do look nifty. Admittedly, a bit off with some tiny black specks here and there, but you know what? That just might be fantabulous quality control from Bandai. Might just be an isolated incident, but you know what? It's worth mentioning. Regardless of that, at a distance, Meowth looks solid. For Team Rocket, we're going to start off with Jesse for articulation, and it's about average in terms of engineering for an SH Figuarts, which is pretty good. But if you're familiar with older style SH Figuarts, you're going to notice some older joints, particularly in the hips. So what do we have? Her head is on a weird ball joint swivel hinge combo where it plugs into the neck, which is pretty good. It works. Unfortunately, this big hair does provide a little bit of joint instability, looseness over time, which you may think right now, oh, that's not a big deal because you're actually like moving her around and the head is bobbing around. Yeah, but I unfortunately see that eventual drooping a problem. I eventually see that as being a problem. But, maybe I'm wrong. I could be wrong. I've been wrong before. So there's no joint where the neck plugs into the body, which is a bit unfortunate. But hey, it is what it is. We do have ball joints where the arms plug into the body, which is pretty cool. No pop out, no butterfly hinge, but we do have hinges to raise and lower her arms. On mine, pretty tight, but it is what it is. We also have swivels there. Notice what word I use there, kiddos. Right. So we have some swivels up there, and we have bicep swivels right down in this portion of the bicep. I'm choosing my words very carefully. So that's nice. So we got double swivel action here. We do have a single hinge for the elbow, which is pretty cool. I guess, double hinge would be better. We've come quite a long way, which makes me think that this was an older figure that they just finally decided to release for the new Pokemon movie, but it is what it is. And then we have swivel hinge wrists with the hands plugging in on a ball joint. So we do get some nice movement there, which is, hey, it is what it is. It's pretty cool. We do have an ab crunch right up here. So forward, back, bobbing around, everything you would need. So she can look about that far up, that far down, which is cool. So what do we have going on here for joint-wise? Oh, would you look at that? We actually do have a joint. It is just a hinge, it looks like. Can't really get any bobbing out of that, but with the hips, we're good to go because we do have the pull-down style hips that the SH Figuarts line is known for. However, mine are super duper tight and they don't really want to move too much. So that is what it is. Looking at Jessie here, it does look like there is a ball joint there, but it just won't move for me. So I don't know if that's just like a connection point that they froze or whatever, but yeah. So she does have the pull down style hinge hips, but they don't move, but they don't work for me. But she does have ball joints. And she does have swivels up there. So you can twist and turn her legs around like that. Single hinges in the knees, which offer just the tiniest bit of swivel movement, but not too much. Don't force it. Swivel hinge ankle joints. So you can get the ankle rocker movement there. And a toe hinge that allows you to move the toes up, but not down. So pretty much her engineering is pretty good for a 2-pack set, which is great. And realistically speaking, if you want to put Jessie in any fun poses, you can do that. But that face, you'd wish that you would have a more standard neutral face. So this way you can get some better poses out of that. Now we're going to take a look at James. And his articulation is about just as good as any Figuarts in the line. So if you have a certain level of quality expectation, chances are he's going to meet it. Same style of neck joint as we've been getting out of the other Pokemon SH Figuarts, the humans anyway. So you're going to get a lot of movement out of there. Ball joints where the shoulders connect into the body alongside hinges to raise and lower his arms. Little bit of a swivel where the shoulders plug into the body, not too much, but we do have bicep swivels further down the arms, which makes it just fine and dandy. Single hinge elbows, which is a bit unfortunate, but I guess for the design, just like Jessie, that's kind of saved. Double hinge could be better. They've definitely improved their engineering along the way over the years. And then we have the swivel hinge style wrists with ball joints where the hands plug in, so you get a little bit more movement out of there, which is really cool. For the main body, we do have 2 ball joints, 1 ab crunch, which is a little further down, and then we do have 1 ball jointed waist. So you can get James to move down about that far and lean back about that far. You can get him to look up about that, so that's pretty good. Pull down hips, like the days of yore, with ball joints, so you can move his legs about that far forward, that far back, and we do have swivels, which is pretty cool. He actually has double hinges. So that's pretty cool. Double hinge knees with swivel hinge ankles. So you can really, really get some ankle rocker movement out of there. And then we have the ever awesome toe hinge, just like that. So for James, the articulation is just fine, and you're going to be able to get a lot of neat poses out of him. But once again, we do have the issue with the eyes on the neutral face looking off to the side. Womp womp. And here's a look at Meowth's articulation. Basic with a ball joint and a swivel system as shown here for the neck. Pretty neato. basic movement there. We have ball-jointed shoulders, nothing for the hips, and what I assume is a swivel for the tail. Now, it might be on a ball joint, but it won't move smoothly up and down for me, so even if it is a ball joint, it'd effectively be a swivel. Now for accessories, and for Jessie, we have the support stand that she is currently using, one alternate face plate, fists, and one pointing hand. For James, we have one alternate face plate, we have splayed hands, and we have one hand holding a rose. And finally for Meowth, we have an extra face. Let's break it down. Here's a look at the hands that we do get first with Jessie, nothing too complicated here. And now we have James. The splayed hands first, and now the rose. The rose has basic paint apps, nothing really fancy, and it is indeed glued into his hand. You can't take it out and use it with another figure. Swapping them out is the same for both figures, and you already know the drill. Grip near the wrist, pull, and pop the new hand on. Now the faces. Jessie's and James's alternative faces are both screaming, shocked faces like they're, blasting off. Woohoo! Yeah, they're detailed rather well. The mouths are actually sculpted in there on those faceplates, so it really does add depth. Jessie's face is swapped out by pulling down on the face currently on and then sliding the new one in place, while James's face is the old pop the hair off, then pop the faceplate off and the new one on method. And for Meowth, he's made of a harder plastic, so you need to be very careful to not break anything when just popping the face off and putting the new one on. I suggest pulling the head off and doing it that way, like I do here. And that's the show, folks. Realistically speaking, that's all we need, but another stand and maybe some explosion effects would be great as well, though you can buy those separately. Extra faces too? That'd be pretty good. Anyway, there are in fact more accessories with a Bandai Premium Webshop exclusive Ash and Team Rocket set. Ash gets a crying face and Team Rocket gets a big R display card, but that's not being factored in here because that's a much more expensive set than this, and this is a review of this set. But yeah, that does exist. What accessories we get are solid, but I would like to see them maybe work their creative muscles a bit with an accessory set that maybe comes with more stuff alongside an Ekans and Coughing, or maybe even their evolved forms. Still, at the end of the day, for the price that we pay, we get some solid accessories. And the size comparison with the pictures that I did not use in the Ash review, like I said. Nope. Alongside Ash here, you can see just how big they would fit on your shelf if you do decide to make the purchase. So, buy now, skip, or wait for a deal. Team Rocket looks awesome with the finer detailing, and though outdated in the articulation department, it's just fine enough to get both Jessie and James into needed poses. Jessie's hair, however, should have been reworked similar to the Super Saiyan 3 Goku Figuarts renewal, even down to the neck joint. Accessories work well too. All in all, for about $75 with discount and whatnot from import sites and reasonable shipping, of course, this is a neat set that's better than the Ash release. To go with your Figuarts or Tomy Ash, Nendoroid trainers, or even the upcoming Figma Red, Pokemon fans will enjoy this release. Well, folks, that's the end of this review. Thanks for watching, and be sure to follow me on social media to catch more behind-the-scenes shenanigans and updates. The end card should be popping up now with more hand-selected STR goodness for you to watch, so check out some of those videos. Be sure to check the description, too, to see where you can buy this figure or others like it, and some cool links, like the credits for this video, and other ways you can help out the channel. Thanks again for watching, and I'll catch ya in the next video.